guys.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome in, everyone, and this is the Full 10 Yards Betting Podcast. The NFL draft is just a couple of days away, and it's time to win you some cash. Yes, indeed. Months removed from the Super Bowl, we once again have a betting opportunity. And I'm going to be honest, it's going to be an absolute miracle if my bank account stays intact after considering the amount of bets that I've done leading up to this one anyway. So, but we'll see if that's the case for Jack and Adam. Adam, welcome in, obviously a veteran of the podcast. How have you been the last couple of months? Have you been able to get a haircut, and just generally how you been?
Yeah, luckily I just shaved mine. That's why I wear the cap. So yeah, I don't need to worry about haircuts or anything. But yeah, really good. I had a couple of months off of NFL-based stuff this week. I've kind of obviously picked up a bit. I've been keeping nose to the ear to the ground and seeing what's going on Twitter. Obviously, one of the more important times of the year to be involved on there, keeping an eye on beat writers and etc. etc. But yeah, all pretty damn good, to be honest.
Yeah, so we'll go to some tips and hints at the moment. Yeah, but make sure you are, next 24 hours, next 48 hours, make sure you are glued to your Twitter, glued to your social media, just so that you can get that bit of value. That's the grind you're going to have to put in. Talking of grind, Jack over in Ireland is putting a bit of a grind. He was telling me that they've been in lockdown since New Year's Eve, and they're not probably coming out for another couple of months. But you've managed to get a haircut, Jack, and you've managed to get a jab. I heard today, and I said to you off air, I didn't know you were over 45, and if you have been, you've had a very nice, relaxing life by the looks of your face.
Yeah, I know. I got the job this morning, so hopefully, I suppose things are looking up in Ireland. But it'll probably be about 2 months before the pubs are open, and that's all we really care about here. But yeah, hopefully we can get back into things. I know it's over in the UK, you can drink outside now, so hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks we can be allowed to drink outside, because there's a serious pushback from the public. But I don't know, I don't really see the problem with drinking outside, but that's what the government want to do, so what can we say?
Right, that's indeed. Well, so at least you got your injection, and hopefully on this podcast we will inject your bank account with a bit of cash. See that segue there? Haven't lost it, have I? So today we're going to go, before we get into some of the topics, and there's so many requests. It's like the Super Bowl. There's so many requested bets. There's so many bets you can get involved with. It gets more and more every year. But we'll give you some tips, some hits, and again, one of those obviously just be stuck to your social media, which you can find us at Full 10 Yards on the Twitter. Obviously, you've got the handles there for Adam and Tuffy, as I've called him. I hope that's okay with you, Jack. I've just called it. I've just what I called you. No Beefy today. He's doing some bits, so he'll be back no doubt in a couple of weeks or one time when we look through some early anti-post stuff. We're going to be looking at the first five or six picks in exact order. We're going to be looking at a couple of players where the teams where we think they could potentially end up. We're going to give a favourite request bet out of all the requested bets that are available, where you can find those and the odds. And again, due to the nature of the draft and the social media, quite a lot of these prices could change. So apologies in advance if you're listening on Wednesday or Thursday and the prices aren't quite there. I'm going to give you our best bet for the draft, our NAP, and we're going to finish off with a £100 challenge as well. So before we get into the crux of it, then, so just one kind of tip or hint from me, and I'll get the guys in shortly on theirs. But beware of smoke screens. There's so many accounts out there. There's so many people saying per source this happened, and if you're a bookie, they're going off the same information as we are. So if you are able to get a good bit of information from a good source, keep your eyes on social media, and be very alert on the day of the draft. It was only a couple of years ago where leading up to the number one overall pick, Sam Darnold was for all love and money was going to the Browns, and obviously Baker Mayfield the morning of the draft kind of leaked, and then there you go. One stat that I do have, as well as we do like stats here on the Full 10 Yards, it could be the first time in 40 years that the NFL draft that hasn't had a defensive player amongst the first 7 selections. And if it doesn't happen until pick 9, that'd be the latest defender was drafted since 1957. I think there's a stat out there as well that obviously no 4 quarterbacks have been ever drafted in the first 4 picks. I'm sorry if I've nicked one of yours, Adam or Jack. Any hints or tips from you, Adam?
Yeah, keep an eye on obviously on the likes of me, on Jack, on a couple of others on Twitter, because if we see something that we like that you can beat the price on, then you can definitely get on if you're quick enough. And My Sports Update on Twitter as well. They're kind of a one-stop shop. They kind of post everything. But yeah, other than that, just keep an eye on beat writers. If you follow all the beat writers, which quite a few of us do, then you can get not an inside scoop, but more kind of specialized knowledge than you're going to get from likes of Rappaport and Schefter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jack, any hints, tips from you?
Well, last year, Justin Herbert and Tua were the two quarterbacks that were tipped for the Dolphins. And I follow Omar Kelly. He writes for the Sun Sentinel in Miami, and he basically came out like 2 hours before the draft and said that it's Tua, and I think you get Tua at maybe 6-4 at the time. So I put about maybe 20 or 30 quid on it because I wasn't 100% certain he'd know what he was talking about, but he ended up kind of saying "I told you so" when we drafted him.
Yeah, the one thing I will say as well, just a kind of thing of that as well, is because there's so many different requester bets out there, and there's so many different ways of like markets. Say, for example, we go through number 3 overall shortly, but there's bets out there where you can bet on the 3rd overall pick, or you can pick on if it's Mac Jones's landing spot, or top 3 exact order. There is a chance that some of these bookies will miss all the markets they've got priced up related to that bet as well. So when you go on your Sky Bet or your Bet365 or whatever, make sure you check all the markets, and that's the same for the price as well, because you might find, I think I saw Mac Jones at was 4-9 to be the 3rd overall pick, and then he was like 2-5 to be drafted by the 49ers. So as small as that margin is, you don't want to be betting on a 2-5 shot where you can get 4-9 if you're that way inclined. But it applies to a lot of different things as well. So yeah, just be a bit smart, be a bit savvy, and so if you're not sure, just give us a shout. We'll point you in the right direction. Whether it wins or not, we can't really determine that. But yeah, never mind. We will try our best. Anyone that is watching on social media or YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, any best bets that you have that you want to shout out, we'll put those out as we go along. But let's start, chaps. Let's start with what have I got here. So let's go with our naps. What's your best bets of the draft? I'll go with mine first if I can find it. I've got so many pictures to get through today. Where we got nap? Where's my nap?
Yeah, just on like you're saying with the odds kind of stuff. That's the reason I've now doubled down on Chase going to the Bengals, is because I found it a 7-4 in team to draft Jamar Chase. But then, as you quite kindly pointed out about 2 seconds after I placed my bet, it was 7-4 in the selection bit, but then in the request bets it was 11-4 for the exact same thing. So yeah. I ended up doubling down because I'm mildly convinced that's going to happen. So fingers crossed you're right. But yeah, just make sure you're checking everywhere. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And I haven't uploaded the naps on the computer behind me, so I'm not going to turn around and do it and to make someone pause the time. But yeah, my nap for the NFL, I actually requested. This is my own request to bet. It was 11-2. It's now a 9-2, which is what I saw, and I haven't even got it written down. So I might as well just turn around. So Adam, give a short nap.
I was going to say, go to someone else. Yeah, mine isn't quite as big odds as that. I like one banker bet, one that I believe is guaranteed at short odds, and this year it is Micah Parsons being the first linebacker drafted. It's 1-2 on Sky Bet. The best price anywhere else seems to be 2-7, around that kind of area. And the next closest linebacker is around 17th, 18th on mock drafts, whereas Micah Parsons has been the kind of de facto number one that everyone seems to believe all the way through. I think there's a chance he goes at 9, which would be the pick 9 that you mentioned earlier, 1957 thing, to the Broncos, if the Broncos stay put. If not, then he's been mocked to the Giants at 11 in quite a few places. Either way, he seems to be the fairly guaranteed number 1 pick. It is Owusu Kamara is the second in the betting for that. I think he's about 9-2 to go first linebacker, but as I say, he's way down, like 18th, 19th pick. So yeah, for the sake of a 1-2 bet that I do like to take, I normally put a decent bet on one particular 1-2 bet, and that's my one this year, is Micah Parsons first linebacker drafted. And for me, if he goes to the Broncos, I had that at 5-1, so fingers crossed.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I haven't even downloaded the pictures, so I don't know where the hell they've gone. But there we go. I managed to find it on Sky Bet, so I'm just going to have to read it from the screen. Very professional, isn't it? Maybe I have lost it. First wide receiver, Jamar Chase. Second quarterback, Zach Wilson. First linebacker, Micah Parsons. First safety, Trevon Merrick Woodward. First running back, Najee Harris. And 4+ cornerbacks to be drafted in the first round. Was 11-2, is now 9-2. The only thing you're kind of getting the price from there is Najee Harris if Beefy will be the first running back. I think pretty much everything else is nailed on. I mean, Jamar Chase is 1 to 10 for first wide receiver. Zach Wilson is heavy odds on. Michael Parsons, you've just gone through there as your first linebacker, first safety. That guy is head and shoulders above the rest. So the four cornerbacks, there's three definitely will be Caleb Farley, Patrick Surtain, and
JC Horn.
Mr. Dallas Cowboy, JC Horn, who I'm rooting for. So you only need Greg Newsome or Asante Samuel Jr. or one of the other guys to creep in the first round. And I think it will happen. So it was not 11 to 2, is now 9 to 2. So someone's money somewhere, not just mine, has moved that as well. So have you backed it as well? Good lad.
Oh no, I was pointing at you.
Oh,
wherever you are on the screen.
No, because you were pointing at your name tag.
Jack.
Yeah. That one's easy. Yeah. Jack, give us your best bet for the NFL draft.
Mine is with Boyle Sports. It's 11 to 10, and it is the Dolphins to draft a wide receiver. And when I was on about earlier on, Omar Kelly from the Sun Sentinel, he said that at 6, the Dolphins will more than likely pick Jamar Chase if the Bengals don't pick him. And then he said that if the Bengals do pick him, he thinks they'll either pick Devonta Smith or Waddle. So even if the Dolphins draft, just say the Dolphins go from maybe 6 to 9, just say the Broncos might want to trade for, just say, the 6th pick, I still think Dolphins will get a wide receiver at 9. So I think 11 to 10 is a very, very good price. And I've seen it at 4 to 6, I think, with Sport and Bet. So when you're getting not odds on, the opposite odds off, whatever. It's well worth it at 11 to 10.
And do you know what, lads? I found them. There you go.
That's the request bet. That's later on. Don't spoil that.
Oh no! Yeah, I'm having an absolute mare here, aren't I? All right, let's just go home.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Right, let's start off then. Let's go with I'll tell you what, lads. Is one of the most fascinating picks of the draft is number 3 overall, isn't it? Who goes to San Francisco 49ers? It's been up and down. Obviously, start of the NFL season, or towards the end of the college season, it was all for love and money. It was going to be Justin Fields, and then Mac Jones somehow got there, and Zach Wilson obviously was going to go number 2. So this is current betting for the number 3 pick, taken about half hour ago. Mac Jones in and out, 4 to 9. Trey Lance choose. Apparently, according to Rappaport, it's between those two now, and Justin Fields, who was odds on a couple of days ago when I was rubbing my hands together because I had 7 to 2. Now drowning my sorrows and pissed away all my money, but there we go. Zach Wilson obviously slated to go number 2 overall, so he's 33 to 1. But he's obviously going to the Jets. What do you like, Adam? How do you think? Who do you think first and foremost?
I think, I'm the same as you. I've been all over the shop with this. Obviously, the Mac Jones news was the first one out, and it was odds on. I didn't believe it at the time because I just don't think he's worthy of that pick. But the more you look into it, obviously this week, as you said, Trey Lance or Mac Jones, but then all you're hearing is that Shanahan is making the choice, and it's all on Shanahan, and it's all getting dumped on him, and he seems to like Mac Jones. So I think, frankly, it's probably going to be him. But everything that I've bet on has Trey Lance involved just because the odds are better. And frankly, I don't think either of us know. So, everything that I have involving a 49ers quarterback is Lance, but I think it's probably going to be Mac Jones, unfortunately.
Yeah, and apparently he likes 5 guys as well, so he's big 5 guys guy. Jack, what do you make of number 3 pick? Where's San Francisco going?
I would agree. I think it's going to go to Mac. I think they're going to go with Mac Jones. I remember when
what waste of a pick.
They traded. I think they give the Dolphins 2 first-round picks. I think next year, and they gave them another pick as well. 23. Yeah, like that. But I was shocked, and basically within about, I think it was about 6 hours. That's Sim, because Phil Sims or Chris Sims. He's friend. He's good. Yeah, he's good friends with Kyle Shanahan. He basically tweeted straight away saying it's going to be Mac Jones, and then the odds obviously went in a good bit. So as you were saying earlier on, you can get good odds from different markets. The bookies don't really lie. So I got a 3rd quarterback drafted at 8 to 1 with Boyle Sports was Mac Jones, and a max bet was €12 max bet. So obviously I have that on now. So I'm hoping it's Mac Jones, but I don't know why it would be, but that's the way it seems to be going. So yeah, hopefully he gets picked 3rd.
Well, yeah, hopefully for that day, yeah, 8-1 is it's always nice when you're sitting pretty on that. Let's go then. So talking of, obviously they're the third overall pick. So let's have a look at the first 5 and the first 6 in the betting. I've just nabbed these from Sky Bet, as you can see from the lovely graphic there. I couldn't be asked to write all that out, so I didn't bother. So you can see the top there, top 5: Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase. 92 is your favourite. Obviously, yeah, these are always good fun to chuck 5ers on, chuck 10ers on, and there's a couple of these that I think appear in some requester bets anyway. But Adam, for you, first 5 picks, you staying anywhere you like in the favourite, or is there any particular combination you like?
No, for me it's the 8-1 with Fields involved, or the 16-1 with Trey Lance and Fields. I want to say 80%, and probably higher than that, on the fact that the Bengals are taking Chase. So anything with Chase, and as we've said, we think it's fairly surely going to be Mac Jones. And then I think the Falcons will trade down. I think someone will give up a fair bit for Justin Fields at 4. So probably the 8-1 or the 16-1 involving Fields and Chase as the last 4 and 5 pick.
And then Jack, obviously come to you. We'll just add another one onto that as well. So the first 6 picks there, you got Lawrence, Wilson, Mac Jones, Kyle Pitts, Penny Sewell, Jamar Chase as your 15-2 favourite. Do you like? If you had a dabble in the first 5 or 6 picks, or exact players and teams, or is this a market you like? What are your thoughts on it?
I actually didn't. If I was going to do any of them, it would have been the 9-2 one for the first 5. It was the favourite. It had Lawrence, Wilson, Jones, Pitts, and Chase. The Dolphins are a bit of a wild card at 6, I think. Yeah. But yeah, basically the 4th pick is the only thing there that I think is a bit dodgy. If they trade out, but if you're getting 9-2, the only thing that really is going to stop that coming in, I think, is if the Falcons trade, which they easily could, but I would lean towards them not just about. So 9-2 is a good price.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be interesting to see what happens at 4. So if Mac Jones is going at 3, then God help, Falcons will be flooded with calls by about half the league, I think. But we shall wait and see. So I've got a couple of players down here. Actually, let's quick shout out. Hi, Jack. How you doing, mate? Hope you're okay. Rob, hope you are well, buddy. Pitts to the Cowboys, 10-1. I'll take your money for that if you like, mate. I'll more than happily take it.
Jerry's infatuated with him, isn't he? Apparently, so.
Fucking infatuated. Come on, guys. What are we doing? I know lockdown's last year, but Jesus Christ. Where were we? Yeah. So I've listed a couple of players here: Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Mac Jones. Obviously, we just talked about Jamar Chase, Penny Sewell, and Kyle Pitts, and we kind of put the destinations of where we think we're going. I mean, I really want Justin Fields to go to the 49ers, and it kind of ruins everything. I struggle to kind of place some of these guys. But Adam, talk us through some of yours. Obviously, Broncos. Is that a trade up? And falling.
Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously, this one goes against what I've been saying about the Mac Jones stuff. Is it just on the off chance he goes to the 49ers made it a bit more interesting. But then I think if Mac Jones doesn't go 49ers, then he will fall. And I think there's a decent chance the Patriots will be able to get him at 15, I think they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got the Broncos trading up with the Falcons for Justin Fields. Drops the Falcons 5 picks. I'm sure they won't be too fussed about that. As I say, I'm fairly sure the Bengals are getting Jamar Chase. And then if that happens, it means that Sewell will probably drop if the Dolphins do take a wide receiver. It means that Sewell then goes to 7. The Lions take him, and then Kyle Pitts is the last one left at pick 8 for the Panthers. And Panthers are dying for a decent tight end, so it'd be an amazing fit there if he did go there.
No, you get a good price on that, I thought.
No, not that great. No, 7-1 for Pitts to the Panthers, or strangely enough, 12-1 at Boyle Sports for the Panthers to choose a tight end.
Okay, 12-1's all right.
With the first pick, so yeah, obviously it's going to be Pitts, but
right. Yeah,
still better than the 7-1 available.
Yeah, seen worse bets than that. Jack, talk us through yours. You've got Trey Lance. You're going to the Patriots. You've got, what else have you got there? Not really too much else different from Adam, but yeah, talk us through it. Any thinking behind these?
I have what different to Adam. I have obviously the 49ers selecting Mac Jones.
Yeah.
And I have Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance could nearly fall as far as 15 to the Patriots, to be honest. There's that many teams around there, just say from 9 to 15 or 9 to 14. I don't really see any of them teams drafting a quarterback. What could happen is the Bears could maybe fancy trading with someone that's like whoever's picking 12th, maybe like the Giants or the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I think you could easily just fall all the way to 15, and the Patriots actually draft him without having to move up at all, which would be the first time the Patriots have drafted a quarterback in the first round since 1993, if that happens.
Yeah, it is indeed. My dog's doing
for obvious reasons, in fairness.
Yeah.
yeah.
They had a fairly decent one.
Helps when you have a certain Mr. Tom Brady, isn't it? Let's move on then. I've got my dog's biting my arm. This is going to be an interesting podcast, isn't it? Let's see what we've got next up. His favourite request to bet. So, yeah, teased it earlier, but Adam, talk us through your favourite request to bet.
Yeah, similar to yours, frankly. Sewell to be the first defensive line, Chase to be the first wide receiver, Parsons to be the first linebacker, and Murray Woodard to the first safety. 7-4, nice and simple. They all are fairly big odds on to be the first of their chosen position. So, yeah, I'm quite happy to take that. I can't see too many shocks happening on them, frankly.
No, well, I say, yes, if your bank balance is big enough, obviously 7-4. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind that at all. Jack, talk us through yours.
Well, mine is a bit more of a long shot than that. It's 25-1, and it's more of a value pick than anything else. The request bets, I think they can be kind of difficult to do, especially because a trade can just mess the whole thing up. But yeah, basically the first 4 picks to be quarterbacks. As Adam was saying earlier on, I could see a team obviously trading with the Falcons and taking a quarterback there. So that'll be the first 4 being a quarterback. Jamar Chase to the Bengals, I think that's basically a lock. And then Devonta Smith to the Dolphins, I think it'll be between Smith and Waddle, and then the 7th pick, Sewell. Basically, if he's there at 7, I think the Lions are going to pick him. So at 25-1, I think it's well worth just a small punt. I was expecting it to be maybe like 10s or 12s. So when I seen 25-1, I was like, that's good value. If you want to maybe put a €5 or even €2 on or whatever, it's good value.
Yeah, I think if I put a euro bet on, I think they'd give me my money back. So I wouldn't accept euros on these shores, but we'll give it a go anyway. My bet is the one that I struggled to find on Sky Bet and read out and actually had in front of me. So yeah, I don't need to run it out again. That's my favourite requested bet. So it is what it is, isn't it? Jamar Chase to be first wide receiver, Zach Wilson first, second QB, Michael Parsons first linebacker, Murray Woodward first safety, first running back, and RG Harrison 4+ cornerbacks drafted in the first round. That's 92 with Sky Bet. Let's see, we've got a couple of comments coming in. Liam, who was obviously with us with Hello Liam, how you doing, buddy? He was on with for the Super Bowl betting podcast. He's got even gents. I'm not going to pronounce that person's name because I can't remember what it is. Under 24.5, Mayfield DP under 53.5 are 2 of my favourites still up. So,
yeah, that one's that's the other linebacker I was on about. Owusu Kamara.
Yeah, that's it.
Is the JOK is that fellow? Yeah, he was mocked around 17-18, I think. So it makes sense.
There you go.
And then Jalen Mayfield, who I think is a cornerback. Obviously,
under 53.5. There you go.
Yeah, 3/4 of the way down the second round.
Second round, absolutely. Yeah, 114 yards. Hi, Josh. How you doing? Panthers, Patriots close to trading involving 8th pick, so that could be interesting. That would certainly shake a few things up. There we go. What we've got next on the docket. So we've done requested, we've done all of those. We've gone through most of these. I think we've only got the £100 challenge left, folks. So let's get to it. £100 challenge. I can't remember who won the Super Bowl one. I know I did okay.
Obviously, me.
Did you? Oh, did you? You went back and checked, did you? That's why you shouted about.
No, right. I have no idea.
I know I did all right. And I think Liam did all right as well because he had the weekend. Jack? Did you enjoy the weekend's performance? You were a weekend fan, weren't you?
It was good, yeah. I was probably expecting to be a bit better, to be honest, but it was still solid enough.
There you go. Right, okay. Let's see what we've got on the £100 challenge for the NFL draft. Adam, we'll come to you first as you've got the most bets, so it'll take you a bit longer to get through. Away you go.
Yeah, as I said earlier, Parsons being the first linebacker drafted, I think that's a fairly decent banker, 50 quid at 1-2. Ravens first pick to be on offense, 25 quid at evens. I think they're going to take offensive line and wide receiver in the first round with the 2 picks that they've got there now. Patrick Surtain to the Cowboys. It might be Surtain, not entirely sure. And Slater to the Chargers, 5 quid at 11-2. Titans taking a wide receiver with their first pick, 10 quid at 5-2. There's a load of talk about Elijah Moore, which is really annoying because I backed him earlier in the week to go over 28.5 or something in the draft, but there's a lot of hype on him at the moment, and it seems like that's the way they might be looking. Running back order: Najee Harris, Trevonte Williams, and Travis Etienne. 5 quid at 9-1 on that one. There was a lot of chatter today from, I think Rappaport posted it. Most teams have got Najee as the number 1 running back, but then there's a little bit of a muddle between Williams and Etienne. Etienne's more of the explosive pass catching back, so I think there's a chance that Williams goes there. As a side note, if you want to go Trevante Williams, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, you can get that at 50-1 on Paddy Power, which is probably worth a bet. And then final one for the big money is 80-1 on Trey Lance to the 49ers, Parsons to the Giants, JC Horn to the Eagles, and Terrace Marshall to the Ravens. 5 quid on that one. 80-1 was my one big one to just try and boost it up.
There you go. Yeah, we'll post these all out on social media as well. So if you do miss them or you can't bother to skip back, if you're listening afterwards and skip back 15-30 seconds, then we'll stick those up. Anyway, Jack, take us through yours. No, you don't want that one. That's
400 quid on that.
So my most confident one is Vikings select a defensive player first, 13-10. It's 10-11, I think, everywhere I've seen bar sport and bet. And I'm just going off Mike Zimmer saying that this is the worst defense he's ever had back, I think it was the end of December. So I think there's a very high chance to pick a defensive player there at, I think it's Kwity Paye is basically the player I've seen mocked maybe 9 times out of 10. Obviously, he's a defensive player, so 13-10, definitely worth the punt. Rashawn Slater, first offensive lineman taken with Boyle Sports, 7-2. I know it's probably going to be Penai Sewell, but 7-2 is a good price, and Slater can play anywhere on the offensive line. So there's probably 1 or 2 teams that'll have him ahead of Sewell, and if he slips down the draft, there's a good chance that Slater will get picked ahead of him. And my final one is JC Horn to be the first cornerback picked. Surtain is, I think, 1-2 most places, but 3-1, again, very good value. There's a lot of teams. I think Rappaport tweeted there 2 days ago, a lot of teams have Horn as their number 1 cornerback in the draft, and I think the Cowboys could select him. There's a few players that have said that he's the best to bet against. I think Kyle Pitts got interviewed, was it 2 weeks ago, and he said that Horn was better than Surtain, which he'd have no reason to say because he's been playing for the same team as him. So 3-1, I think is pretty good value.
Yeah, please, Dallas. I know I got Xavier McKinney really wrong last year, but yeah, please just give me some Horn. Okay, let's go with where's my, if I can find the picture. Yeah, so I've gone a bit mental with requested bets, to be quite honest. So exactly 5 QBs round 1, first 3 picks QBs, 4 cornerbacks round 1. Under 1.5 running backs round 1. Carl Pitts first tight end, Penny Sewell first offensive line, Jamar Chase first wide receiver, 25 at 11-8. Do I have to read all these out? I suppose I do. The second one was my favourite request to bet, which you've already been through, so I got £25 on that as well. And then a couple others. First cornerback, Satan, kind of covering my money there with JC Horn. First defensive line, Saul. Najee Harris, first running back. Parsons, first linebacker. First wide receiver, Jamar Chase. First tight end, Carl Pitts. Take a breath, Tim. Second quarterback, Zach Wilson. 20 quid at 4-1. These are all Sky Bet as well. So yeah, you can find these on Sky Bet. But as of half hour ago, the price was right. So, and then I've got Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Carl Pitts, Jamar Chase, £10, 9-2. That's the one we picked up earlier on in the pod. And then finally, Trevor Lawrence to Jacksonville, Zach Wilson to the Jets, Mac Jones to San Francisco, Pitts to Atlanta, Chase to Cincinnati, and Devonta Smith to Miami. 28-1. I thought was a very fair price. Essentially, all things being considered, it's probably just 28-1 on Devonta Smith to Miami. Really, the way I looked at it. So yeah, give me a tenner on that, and away we go, boys. Let's go to the moon. Let's get those AMC shares, and let's hit a rocket. Hit a rocket to the moon. Anyone on AMC shares? Jackie, you an investor?
Yeah, more cryptos though.
What
Doge. Yeah,
the Dogecoin. Yeah, Dogecoin. Yeah.
I put a good bit into Bitcoin as well this time last year, so obviously happy with that.
Nice.
But no, I invested a little bit in AMC, but all it did was go down. So yeah, I think I'll be staying away from stocks. They're just not my thing.
If you've got them, just hold tight, mate. Hold tight a couple of weeks. Who knows? Adam, I know that you're in a group where that's what we kind of talk about. But you're obviously being an owner of Royal Mail shares because you work for the company. What else do you dabble in?
Yeah, all about Susie Dent, isn't it? It's all about all about Dentcoin that blew up and then plummeted to death and slowly rising its way back now. But yeah, I've obviously got a few Doge, a few GVT and Cardona.
There you go.
Just a little bit of everything. But my 300 quid is now 1,200 at the moment. So yeah, doing all right with them. And then Royal Mail shares have blown up as well. So strangely enough, we've been fairly busy over the last year.
Yeah.
So for some weird reason. So that's been good financially.
Yeah, you'll be able to see a spin-off podcast where we talk about cryptos and shares coming your way anytime. No, I'm joking. I'm really joking. But good luck to everyone that's doing their bets. Good luck to if you're in AMC. Good luck if you're in crypto. Just good luck to everyone. Let's just win some bloody cash. Let's all go to the bloody moon. I've been Tim. Thanks to Adam and Jack. We'll be back probably next month or so. We'll take an early look, say at some anti-post division winners, team totals, and whatnot. But hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube, and if you are listening to this before Thursday and you want to get a draft guide, they are now reduced on the website, full10yards.com/shop, and you can get your digital copies for $3.99 in your inbox, ready for the draft. And even if after the draft you can see which players your team is drafted and see if they're any good or not. 240 odd players, 200 pages long, well worth the investment. Helps money goes back into Britball, which is what we are all about here on the Full 10 Yards. But we'll see you very soon indeed, and don't forget we do this for the game. If I can find the